What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr War Games, and today I am going to bring you the update to ABC deck. Now, I've actually made a lot of changes to this deck to kind of keep it as cheap as possible, and the expensive cards I will show you the alternatives at the end. I will also show you the one card combo again to show you what this deck can do and how it can produce a Buster Dragon as well as a form of additional disruption. With all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. With that out of the way, let's dive headfirst into the profile. So, for the ABC profile, we are playing double A, double B alongside double C. Now, if you wanted to, you can bump up B and C by adding in a third copy of each in place of the 1 silver and 1 gold. Before I go any further, again, also massive shout out to Kyron, who kind of brought this deck back into the light for me and then gave me some suggestions of how to put it together. He sent me a list. I've adapted the list to kind of make it, give it a bit more consistency, give it a couple of alternative options, and then of course also take away the Brave package, spoiler, and add in a different package to hopefully try to mitigate some of the costs, but I will also show you upgrade versions later on as well. We'll then play double Garnet, so like Union Driver just sucks. If you open this up, you lose your 1 card combo, so it is something that without the ability of putting a card back into the deck, it can cause you a bit of issues, which is why you play 2. I know it's kind of the old school version of, you know, well, you don't want to see a Garnet, so why would you play multiples of it? It's just one of them ones that you want to minimise the amount of seeing it where at all possible, but also off those off chances where you do see it, you kind of still have the way to make the play. It's kind of one of them ones as well where if you open up both of them, you kind of have to go, yep, okay, guess that's going on to the next game. Then, of course, we've got 1 Despot 001, a single Torque Tune gear, which is the spicy tech that Kyron brought to my attention, which basically allows you to go Halley Fire Axe plays, gives you into Buster Dragon and a Baron, and again, that'll be shown in the combo later on. We've then got the 1 Mecha Phantom Beast Cult Wing. In theory, you don't actually have to play this, but it is just one of them options where if you've already got the ability and you've gone off mad and you've already got the ability to get into a Buster Dragon, you can actually change the option of the Halley Fire Axe route, and rather than going for the Baron play, you can actually change this up, bring out Cult Wing, bring back Despot 001 and start looping back other synchros as well. Then we've got E-Telly targets, so we've got the 1 Wielder and then 2 Ghost Ogres. So obviously these double up as hand traps as well. But the Wielder, the reason I went with this over the other one is because this is a tuner. And when you actually look at the deck, you probably want tuners more than you do just normal monsters, so non-tuners, in order to complete your plays. Because you're not really going heavy, the only tuner that you're really going to rely on is going to be your Torque Tune gear to get you into Halley Fire Axe and then your Despot to give you your plays from there. The remainder of the hand traps, we do play double Ash Blossom. There is 2 spaces at the end using Solemn Strike that can be used to make these freeze or put in imperms or anything you want. So that's it for pretty much the main. The only other tech card that I've put in is the Hop-Ear Squadron, because I do like that kind of idea where if I feel my opponent has impermed my ABC Buster Dragon or anything like that, I still have that ability that rather than tagging out, I also have that ability of just dropping a Hop-Ear Squadron and turning Buster Dragon with Hop-Ear into Baron. So it does give me a couple of other options. If you did want to play more Synchro level 6s as well, not many of them are massively interruptive, but you can get into your Desert Locust during your opponent's turn. That's where Hop-Ear can come into play as well, because that will then give you Desert Locust, and then off of the back of that as well, it can then give you a Baron, so, and make your opponent discard a card as well, which is really, really cool. So it gives you a couple of options. It does mean that it is part of the alternative route, because you do search it off of Cupid Pitch, but it is a very cool option. Then the engine that I've kind of put in instead of the Brave package is triple No Punk Foxy Tune with the 1 Xiaomin and the 1 Madam Spider alongside the 1 Dangerous Garbu. So obviously this is a little bit more defensive. Ideally you could, if you wanted to, cut this down to just this engine here or bump up Xiaomin to 2. But the idea behind this is the reason we were playing the Brave package is the discard is really, really useful because you ultimately can end up discarding one of the pieces into the grave, but I thought that the new punk did the exact same thing and still gave me a free monster on the board, which was a tuner. So then any other monster I have, whether it be a normal summon that didn't rely on the field spell equipped in one of the monsters from the grave, or if I just, from the deck, I could then use new punk to pay 600 to give me Madam Spider, to then summon the Madam Spider, pay 600 and get the Gabu, and then this still gives me the Halley Firebrax plays. So it's kind of a big difference considering I believe that the ultra rares of these are about £15 to £20. So straight away it's like 60 quid here, where you're looking at like 250 to 300 for the Brave Engine. Obviously the Brave Engine does add protection to the board, but you do also have to keep in mind as well that the biggest risk you play with the Brave package is you don't really want to be leaving those 2 zones free, because when you make Auroradon, you special summon out 3 tokens. So if you've already got your own token in the Brave token and then the Griffin, you're blocking your board up. So the punks kind of do that a little bit better because they still give you the discard, they still give you the route of play, they even set you up a Gabu if you want to, which is basically an imperm, and then it clears your zones off, so you don't even need to worry about that. Moving on to the spells. The spells is where this deck really thrives. So we've got triple Union Hanger, such a good field spell. This is your 1-card combo that, again, I'll re-show you at the end. But the idea behind this is the fact it searches you out any of your A, B, or C pieces and then can equip to Union from the deck is really, really good. Because it is that important, we do try and maximize every opportunity we get to it. So we've got the 1 pseudo space, which is very important for the next card after terraforming, and that is set rotation. So the idea behind this is whether you've got opened up a Union Hanger, whether you don't have either, is you can activate set rotation, give them pseudo space, give yourself a Union Hanger. This can also count as a later game 4th copy of Union Hanger. And the best thing about set rotation is by doing that, straight away, by giving them pseudo space, not only can they not activate field spells until they activate pseudo space, but it means that they can't imperm you from your plays going forward, and it also means that they can't evenly match you or lightning storm you if they flip this up. If they keep this face down, then obviously they can still lightning storm you, but you'll still have Buster Dragon, you'll have Route to Baron, you'll still have plays to make regardless, so you'll still be in a very safe space. Then we've got 2 unauthorized reactivation. Again, these are basically alternative options should your field spell fail. So what I mean by that is if your opponent like ashes this or ogres the equipped on this, that's where unauthorized reactivation comes into play. It also gives you the ability that when you normal summon a gold or a silver gadget, it gives you the other piece you need in order to start making extra deck plays. You will still need a tuner off of the back of those, which is why E-Telly is very important, because this ideally gives you access to your tuners, and straight away that then gives you access to Halley Firebrax plays. Keeping in mind as well, again, if your opponent holds an imperm back, or if your opponent opens up an imperm in general to try and stop your Halley Firebrax, straight away set rotation, give them pseudo space, you don't even need to worry. 1 Foolish Burial, put your pieces in the graveyard. If you played the Brave package, obviously it would consist that a bit more as well. The 1 Cool Buy, because you need to be able to stop as much as you want. There is a couple of flex spots in this deck, so if you wanted to, you could go for the whole cross-out route to make sure that you are pretty much immune from Nibiru and everything like that, but the chances are Nibiru is probably going to come more in the side than it is the main. And then the final 2 cards are Solemn Strike. To finish up the package, it's just one of the ones where if you go first, you can set up the Strike, plus set up a Gabu if you want to, and you're pretty much setting up a very decent front row and back row board. If you do want to upgrade the deck, if you have access to cards alternatively to this, what is a very, very good card for the deck is Droplets. So this is definitely a card that I would advise siding in if you have access to it. If not, it's not the end of the world. But the reason Droplets is so good is you can send the pieces to the graveyard, negate, and then banish them to bring out a Buster Dragon. You can put in the DPE engine. So the DPE engine will be Dasher, Driver, Dasher, Celestial, and then off the back of that as well, you can also play the Fusion Destiny package. Another very good option that I'm considering maining, and if I was to main, I would probably take out the Solemn Strikes, would be the Gamma package. So the reason this is so good is for the pure fact that you can summon Gamma off of Halley Firebrax, and you can also summon it off of the back of E-Telly, so it gives you more consistent factors behind it. The fact it is a level 2 tuner as well can be very, very helpful, because that will give you access to level 8 plays, because you use 2 of the Auroradon tokens plus 1 of these, and straight away you get into a level 8 synchro. And then, of course, like I said, the final one is the Brave package. The Brave package will dictate how you play the Auroradon combo, but it also gives you that route of being able to set up protection from Nibiru as well. So these are just a couple of options you can play around with. It depends on if you've got access to them. The Gamma is probably the more consistent one that will go in. And like I said, I'd probably take out the 2 strikes and just bump the deck up to a 42 card deck. Moving on to the extra deck, we do have some spice in here again. Shout out to Kyron on this. So triple ABC. Yes, you might be like, well, hang on a minute, you've only got 2 sets of the A, B, and C. Well, the chances are you're going to be putting them back into the graveyard, you're going to looping them back around. So you actually want more busters than you do pieces. It's very rare you should go through all 3 busters, but you want to make sure you have the ability should you need to. We've then got the 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, and before you go, hang on a minute, you didn't show me the Red Eyes Fusion package. The way we make this is, alternatively, instead of making Desert Locust, you actually make Muddy Mud Dragon. Now, it is a very specific, because what you need to do is Muddy Mud Dragon becomes Dark Magician, and then you need to replace it with an effect Dragon monster, and that then comes into play through stuff like your Riser Dragon, and it kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to resolve, but it is just a spicy option that we're playing around with. If you wanted to, you would look at bumping that up a little bit more, try to get more dragons on a consistent basis, and do it that way. So these are 2 flex spots, which can quite easily be a Verte Anaconda, or a Dagda if you want to go down that route. And then, of course, a Destiny... DPE. There you go. I'll get my mind out there already. Alternatively, these can become more level 6 synchros. It could become a invoked Kaliga, because you've got lights and darks. It can also become a Macabre, because you've got lights and darks as well. So the way that works is Mud Dragon becomes Alistair, and then you use any A, B, or C piece to become that. Also, you've got the tokens that can become Raijin as well. So you kind of unlock an invoked engine within these 2 cards as well. For the next 5 cards, going through the synchros, and then we'll go through the links. You've got your Herald of Arc Light and your Cupid Pitch. So these are going to be your basic plays off of the alternative route through the Auroradon play. Alongside a Desert Locust. This is actually really important for the 1-card combo, because it helps put the piece into the graveyard that you need, but it can also be made during your opponent's turn to make them discard a card, and then it has the quick effect to synchro during your opponent's main phase, and that's where you can bounce out your ABC Buster and give you access to a battle on the floor. You've then got your Shooting Riser Dragon. Pretty much this is just summoned and used to send another piece to the graveyard. So 1 piece is off of the back of the field spell that you just normal summon, link it off. The 2nd piece comes off of your Riser, and the 3rd piece comes off of your Desert Locust, and that's how you set up your Buster Dragon through 1 card. You've then got your Savage play, so there are ways of making level 8s. Again, that's where your Gamma will come into play a little bit more consistently as well. And then, of course, you've got your Baron on the Floor, which not only can come off of the back of a Hopper Squadron, but it can also come off of a Desert Locust as well. Then the final cards we have are the 1 IP Masquerena, the 1 Halifabrax, the 1 Auroradon, and then the Access Code Talker. So the idea behind Access Code, can be Borosword as well, is that you leave Auroradon on the play, and then, because obviously you can't link something for the rest of that turn, and then you get rid of it the next turn, boost this up by 3k, and then it'll have a Wind, a Water, and possibly a Dark if you've used IP at some point as well. So again, the extra deck is flexi spots. The only points that you really need to be keeping at the base minimum are going to be exactly these ones here. So these are the ones you're going to burn through during your combo in order to get them where you need to be. Speaking of the combo, let's reset the board, and I will show you exactly how you do it from 1 card. The only card you need in order to get this combo rocking and rolling is the Union Hanger. Now, obviously, like I said, you do technically play 5 copies of this, 1 being Terraforming, 1 being Set Rotation. If you can't resolve or can't get to Union Hanger, another alternative is a normal summon plus an unauthorized reactivation. Gets you the exact same play. It just turns it from a 1-card combo to a 2-card combo. So you've got so many more to deal with as well. Keep in mind that we are going to have 3 to 4 additional cards in our hand as well. So you're going to start off by activating your Union Hanger. The effect of this will go off, and the 1 card you want to be searching off of this is going to be B, which is very important that it is specifically B. You're going to normal summon this. You're going to use the effect of Union Hanger to equip a monster from the deck to it, and of course the one you want to be equipped in is going to be your Union Driver. You'll then use the effect of Union Driver to banish it in order to equip the Torque Tune Gear directly from your deck to Buster Drake. You'll then use Torque Tune Gear's effect to summon itself, keeping in mind that this only locks the driver, not what driver puts to it. You then get to link both B and Torque Tune to go into your Halifabrax. Another nice component of this as well is you do get the ability to chain block Hallie Firebrax by going chain link 1 Hallie Firebrax, chain link 2 Buster Drake. So Drake is, if it is sent from the field to the grave, you get to add a union monster from your deck to the hand. And this is where you want to add either A or C. It doesn't really matter which one you add because it's just going to get discarded anyway. You're then obviously going to resolve Hallie Firebrax, and this is going to let you summon out Despot 001. If you've got other routes of play, you can go into... if you want to go for a level 8 synchro, what I mean by that is you can bring out your Hopper Squadron. You can also go through your plays into the Cupid pitch as well. So then what you're going to do is you're going to do the standard, link these two together and go into Auroradon. Auroradon effect will trigger to spawn you out 3 tokens. And then by spawning out these 3 tokens, massive shout out to Ryan on these ones as well because these tokens are amazing. So you're going to spawn out the 3 tokens. Move everything around a little bit. You'll trigger the Despot 001 to bring it back from the grave. You'll then use 2 tokens, keeping in mind these are level 3s, with your Despot 001, and you're going to summon out the Riser Dragon. Riser Dragon will then trigger its effect to send the last piece from your deck to the graveyard, whether that be A, or in this current scenario, it will be C. By doing that, your Shooting Riser Dragon has been dropped by 4, meaning it is a level 3. So you sync, as it is a tuner, using your Riser Dragon plus your token, which is another level 3. And this is where your Desert Locust comes into play. Desert Locust effect makes the turn player discard from their hand. So we will discard the final piece of A, and that goes directly to the grave. Straight away, you will then banish A. I want to get it in order. B. And then C, and this will summon out your ABC Buster Dragon. Now, keep in mind as well, you still have 4 more cards to play with, so if these are strikes, if these are Gaboos, if this was the Foxy tune that was able to maintain your normal summon, it just gives you more ways to play around an interruption on the hanger. What you will then do is during your opponent's turn, you will ideally try to use Buster Dragon at an early stage, so just discard to banish one of their early cards that might cause you an issue or might lead to them producing a form of issues. Then you will activate Buster Dragon to tag itself out to revive your A, B, and C. There you go, A, B, and C. You will then be able to trigger Desert Locust effect, keep in mind this is during the main phase, to synchro with one of these pieces. Now I'm probably going to go with B for the pure fact that it will let me search out a piece and regain the card I discarded off of the Buster Dragon. So this will summon out Baron de Fleur, so you've had 1 banish and you've got 1 Omni Negate. You'll trigger B, which will search me out another piece that I want, whether it be A or C. There we go, so we're just going to add A. And then you're able to play from this point on. Keeping in mind that if A or C go to the graveyard, you'll then get the effects to add 1 back from the grave, or you'll get the effect to add special summon 1 from the grave as well. So you've replenished your hand, you still have 4 cards in there, and then you'll be drawing a 5 for turn. It'll be as if nothing has changed. Not to mention that straight away you go, okay, cool, we're going to link these off, we're going to go into Auroradon, anything like that. Anything you kind of build back up on this. So let's say we got rid of C. I don't even need to normal summon. I've drawn for turn. I'm just going to link these 2 together. Let me just confirm Auroradon can be used as link material. Yeah, because it can't special summon for the rest of the turn. So guys, we use that, and then this is where you probably go, okay, cool. We're going access code effect, gain 3k. It will have a wind and a water in the graveyard already because you've got your Hallie Firebrax. You then banish the A, B, and C pieces, bring out a Buster Dragon. And like I said, you've still got a full hand. So you just go, cool, discard off a Buster, banish 1. If you're able to get another 3 sets of pieces in the grave, you can get a second Buster Dragon. But this will ultimately lead for game because you've got 2 non-target destructions there. You've got a target and banish there. You've got a target pop there. And then obviously you've got 3, 6, and then 5, 3. So ultimately leading to game. Anyway, I hope you like this profile. Again, a massive shout out to Kyron on this one. It's just nice to kind of bring decks like this back into the forefront. Now, obviously, it's not going to be top tier or meta, but it will definitely put in some work, and it kind of lets you go, you know what, I'm a little bit bored of this format. I want to try something new, or I want to try something different to take to my casual locals that is happening this weekend. I'm going to go with A, Bs, and Cs instead. And I don't want to break the bank because I don't own the... I don't own the Brave package, so I'm going to use the Punk package instead, which is a heck of a lot cheaper. And then if you don't have a Dragoon, again, you can easily go, well, I own the Fusion Destiny package, I'll put that in. Or I'm going to put the not the Punk package in, sorry, the Gamma package in, and we're going to go that way instead. Anyway, Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, guys, as absolutely always, stay safe. And of course, happy dueling.